We are bored. We're all bored now. But has it ever occurred to you, Wally, that the process that creates this boredom that we see in the world now may very well be a self-perpetuating, unconscious form of brainwashing created by a world totalitarian government based on money, and that all of this is much more dangerous than one thinks, and it's not just a question of individual survival, Wally, but that somebody who's bored is asleep, and somebody who's asleep will not say no?
Only human beings are capable of being bored. No other animal can be bored. Boredom only exists when the mind starts coming closer and closer to enlightenment. It's just the opposite of enlightenment. And animals can't become enlightened, and so they can't be bored either. Boredom simply shows that you are becoming aware of the futility of life. It's constant repetitive wheel. You've done all those things before. Nothing happens. You've been into all those trips before, and nothing comes out of it. Osho says boredom is the first indication that a great understanding is arising in you about the futility, meaninglessness of life and its ways. Now, you can respond to boredom in two ways. One way is the way that most people do it, which is to escape from it. Always be running away from it, trying to occupy yourself with different things, work, movies, sex, whatever. That's why people invented alcohol and drugs. They are ways to escape from boredom. But you can't really escape. You can only avoid for a while. Again and again, the boredom will keep coming, and again it will be more and more loud, more intense. It's not something that can be avoided. It's part of human growth. It has to be faced. So the other response is to face it, to meditate on it, to be with it, to be it. That's what Buddha was doing under the Bodhi tree. That's what all Zen people have been doing down the ages. Osho said, what exactly is meditation? Facing boredom is meditation. What does a meditator go on doing? Sitting silently, watching his breath. Do you think he's entertained by these things? He's absolutely bored. That's why the Zen master moves with a stick in his hand, because those bored people are bound to fall asleep. There's no other escape, so only one escape is left. At least they can fall asleep. The whole effort of meditation is this: be bored but don't escape from it, and keep alert, because if you fall asleep, you have escaped. Watch it, witness it. If it's there, then it's there. It has to be looked into, to the very core of it. If you go on looking into boredom without escaping, the explosion comes. One day, suddenly, looking deep into boredom, you penetrate your own nothingness. Boredom is just the cover, the container in which is contained your inner nothingness. Osho said, great courage is needed to face it. It's almost like death. In fact, far more hard than death. If you go on watching, boredom becomes bigger and bigger, more and more intense, and then there's a point where the wheel turns. If you can go to the very extreme, to the very peak, then the change, the transformation, the enlightenment, or whatever you want to call it, happens. Then one day, suddenly, the boredom becomes too much. You are suffocated. You are almost killed by it. You are surrounded by an ocean of boredom. You are overflooded by it, and there seems to be no way to escape. The very intensity and totality of it, and the wheel turns. Suddenly, boredom disappears, and there is enlightenment. You have entered your nothingness. Now there will be no more boredom. You have seen the very nothingness of life. You have disappeared. Who can be bored? With what? You exist no more. You are annihilated. Boredom is a great spiritual phenomenon. That's why animals are not bored. Cows are not bored. They look perfectly happy and are enjoying life. Only human beings are bored. And also in human beings, only the people who are very intelligent are bored.